It's I've got Commissioner Sharon Bolos that's seated to my left. We'll excuse Commissioner Gage Froer for about 45 minutes or so as he's at the state capitol working on behalf of the people of Weber County. And I'm Commissioner Jim Harvey, who will act as the vice chair, will act as the moderator or meeting chair for this meeting. Our first action item today is discussion and or action for approval of the minutes for the commission work session held on January 12th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Great. We'll just take a brief pause for a moment and then I take that back. I thought Siri Main was going to be here, but Commissioner Bolos, let's go ahead. Hey, look, it's Siri. She is here. Great. Hi, Siri.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. I just want to say that Siri, we are so glad, since this is a public meeting, I want to say out loud, and from my perspective, I was once over the animal shelter back right after it was first built, nearly 30 years ago. And you are one of the best things that's ever happened to our Weber County Animal Shelter. Your leadership, your care, your work ethic has just been phenomenal. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your work there.
Thank you.
You certainly blessed the shelter and the people who are associated with the animals there. Thank you so much. But I've got under this shelter policy amendment, it's a discussion regarding Weber County Animal Shelter Policy Amendment by Commissioner Bolos. If you'll start and whatever you need. Go ahead. Thank you.
So Commissioner Harvey, I forwarded a recommendation. Actually, it might have been forwarded. I think it was sent to all of us from a rescue who has been somewhat involved in our shelter. I don't know their history, but anyway, it's a rescue. It's the director of a rescue with a proposed amendment to our policy about licensed foster homes. So I'm actually going to read it just for the public record, and then I just asked Director Siri Main to give us her recommendation on this policy suggestion. So
thank you.
This is the proposal. It's about exemptions from animal boarding establishment licensing. Currently, the ordinance exempts humane shelters operated by a nationally recognized nonprofit organization, but it does not explicitly include licensed foster homes operated by such organizations. Foster homes play a critical role in the care, rehabilitation, and placement of rescued animals, and many of these homes are private residences, temporarily housing animals in compliance with local and state regulations. Without explicit recognition, these foster homes may unintentionally be in conflict with Section 6-3-1, which limits the number of dogs and cats per residence. Proposed language amendment. Humane shelters or licensed foster homes operated by a nationally recognized nonprofit organization, including private residences, used temporarily for the care and rehabilitation of rescued animals in compliance with all applicable local and state regulations. The rationale is that it provides a legal clarity and protection for foster volunteers and encourages nonprofit rescue operations while maintaining animal welfare standards. So, I'm not the expert. I don't think you're the expert, even though you were over the animal shelter. Commissioner Froer, I don't know if he's the expert, but we do have an expert in the county, and that's Siri Main. So I asked her to just address this, Siri, and let us know if you think that this is a good recommendation, or if not, then if you would recommend any changes to our policy.
Yeah, thank you. I have some initial thoughts and concerns on this. There's an inherent risk in allowing a rescue with fosters to operate in our jurisdiction. Currently, we have no way to observe or guarantee their training, facilities, practices, capacity of care protocols. So the least we could do is mitigate the risk by capping off the number of animals that they can bring in. Rescues can pull animals from anywhere and place them in our county. There's always a possibility these animals will escape, and that possibility increases with a larger number of animals in one home. We could have several animals that someone brought in from a completely different state now being a public safety concern and requiring resources in our county. Rescues have the ability to pull any dog allowed by the facility or organization they are pulling from. Typically, these are unadoptable animals through the original facility holding them, or difficult to adopt, I should say. In other words, possibly behavior cases, animals with bite history attached to them, and potentially sick or contagious illnesses. My suggested solution would be actually one we kind of already have. We do have those that wish to house more than the city allowed number of animals should apply for a kennel license. Depending on the city, there will be a cap for the number of animals allowed in a single property. There will also be inspections, appropriate fees, and other requirements. Overall, I just believe the answer is already available, and the proposed amendment that was put forth can result in catastrophic failures to an animal's overall health and care. Thank you.
Okay, great. Commissioner Bolus, is there anything else on this?
No, I'm glad you mentioned the kennel license. I think that, while that already exists in our policy, I can appreciate that you see this as the answer or the response to this consideration. I think the kennel license makes sense. It might be different from city to city, might be different from city to county. And it gives those jurisdictions, I think, a better handle on what they want to allow in their city. So if my only follow-up question, Siri, would be, do you think that our policy needs to be adjusted at all to point toward the kennel license as a way to assist these fosters? Do we need to add some language somewhere to facilitate that?
As of right now, immediately, no. What we could do, and what I suggest, and the shelter is working on, is more education around having more animals than what is quote unquote allowed, or how the amount of animals that would require kennel licensing. I truly believe individuals don't want to break city ordinances and protocols. I just simply think there's just an education aspect that needs to happen. And I believe when that happens, I think we'll see less of an issue in this.
I think that's a great idea, and I'll leave it to you and your team to do that. I think even just, part of your social media post, and we could even include it in our general county newsletter, Jessica.
Mhm.
Just that encouragement, if you are a foster working for a rescue, be sure that you have a kennel license in your municipality, and just kind of direct people that way. And if it's a
Mhm.
social media post, well, I guess even on the newsletter, we could, well, I was gonna say put a link to where they can apply for a kennel license, but it's really gonna depend on where they live, so we don't wanna
Mhm. Yeah.
convolute that.
And we've
But
already added a slideshow or a slide to our foster PowerPoint presentation in regards to trying to further educate our fosters on the allowed numbers within their city.
that's great. Great, that answers my questions, Commissioner Harvey.
Great. So Siri, what's your recommendation? We just stay with what we've got then and not approve
I,
this?
yes, I do recommend we stay the course with what we currently have, and we simply up our education, and we teach more of the public of what's allowed, where they can get their kennel licensing, and the requirements thereof.
I also like that we're very well aware that people live in a particular city because they want local government, they want local say, and so this is a way for them to work through the process of that local mayor and city council if they wanted to have any variances or even an approval for this such an operation that they go through those cities, and so I can support that. Is that
Yeah.
is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking? Okay, I think we've got a consensus here then.
Yeah, I think, and thanks, Siri, for reading through that and sharing your concerns. I appreciate you at least entertaining the recommendation that came from that rescue director. So
Yeah,
thanks.
absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Siri.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great. That concludes that item number one. I'll entertain a motion to saunter
So
until 2
moved.
o'clock. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're gonna saunter for just a few minutes. Thank you, Siri.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bolos, look for a motion to cease dishonor,
So moved.
and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Our action item number 3 on our agenda today, it's just after 2 o'clock. It's a discussion regarding Powder Mountain Fire Station and parking lot with associated interlocal agreement. Presenter today will be Tammy Adelot with Rick Grover, Charlie Ewert, Tucker Waite, Gary Myers, David Reed, Britt Clark, Craig Rowe, Brooke Hontz, and Olga Mariasina.
She didn't come. She's sick.
Oh,
This is Chris, who would love to take Olga's place.
I said Olga, and I thought, well, now Chris is going by her maiden name or something.
Craig, to your right, Craig Roth, who is here, in Olga's stead as well. Those are big shoes to fill.
Okay, great.
Apologies.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Tammy, why don't you start if you would, please?
Just kind of introduce the discussion. So Powder Mountain is proposing to hard surface the parking lot at the top of Powder Mountain Road that lies within Cache County. Along with that proposal comes installation of a new fire station. They have been working with Weber Fire District. We've had several discussions around this, but where it lies in Cache County, I think the question has come up as to whether or not we look at an interlocal agreement, which I think is probably what everyone's leaning towards, or possibly adjusting a county boundary. So I'm gonna hand it, I don't know if Rick and Sean have had discussions over the last week, or if you want Powder Mountain to talk about it, or?
We just wanted to get the fire district, Powder Mountain, and the planning and all of you at the table and just get your take on everything, if that's something you're willing to consider. An interlocal agreement with cash, so probably it'd be good to maybe have Powder Mountain give some details of what they're requesting, and then maybe get a little bit of feedback from Dave with their fire district, and just kind of, see where you're feeling on this.
Great. Thank you so much. Brooke, I'm going to go to you. Who would you like to represent?
I can do it.
Great.
think
I
can.
believe in you. Go ahead.
So I will hopefully, I don't know if I am allowed to cast, but if possible, I might be able to cast to the screen so I can show exactly where the county line is.
Somebody help her do that. Thank you. You could, yeah.
So I think I have an Alta survey, which actually shows where the county line is versus the current existing improvements. So you can see that probably a quarter, I'm sure we can get very exact, of the existing parking lot actually is in Weber County. But what happens is as you move to if you're picturing kind of coming up Powder Mountain Road right now and dumping into the parking lot, if you go left, you drive almost immediately into Cache County. And that also happens to be the site that we've identified, although it backs right up to the county line, where we think the ideal location for the Weber Fire District new fire station would go.
Is this where that concrete,
Right behind that. So the concrete thing is kind of still there.
they call that the concrete thing is what you call it.
thing.
Okay.
That thing. So behind that, around the corner, is where we're talking about, because that actually happens to still be in Weber County, the concrete, piece of, whatever that is. I guess,
Unusable,
basement.
yeah.
Yeah, so, what we were looking at it, and, whomever,
Excuse me,
Yes.
Christy said she was gonna send you a Zoom link to get in so you can share your screen. I didn't want to interrupt you, sorry.
no, let's do this really quickly, because you have,
I'd just as soon the map, yeah, we'll wait just a moment. That'd be great.
it's from Christy,
Bingham?
not there.
Is that what she's gonna put up?
Mm-hmm. I just tried to cast too, and I wasn't picking up your screen.
Is your internet okay, Brooke?
Yep, it's just, I'm on the internet.
Yeah, I just sent it, so hopefully it'll pop up here any second.
Christy, Craig's got his laptop open and can maybe take a look.
Go back. Still, I'll refresh. This will make it really clear once I. Okay. No. No. Still nothing. Well, the parking lot is located within both counties, but the ideal scenario for both counties and in Powder Mountain's mind is because we're planning on doing multiple projects. Like Tammy said, we want to make improvements to the surface of the parking lot right now, which is only a dirt/mud in years where we actually get precipitation. So we want to upgrade that to an actual paved parking lot with lines and something to catch stormwater and better ADA access to our buildings. Obviously, that's necessary and required to have a really suitable surface for the fire district and the fire station. Plus, we have a new maintenance shop at the end of the parking lot that we need to have on a paved surface. So all of those things would cross regardless because of how the county line runs, covers both county lines. And so in our mind, it made sense, since all the access to that location, as you're all aware, is 100% through Weber County on a state highway. We thought it would be best if we approached the county and asked if you would be interested in entering into an interlocal with Cache County, similar to how you have on 2 subdivisions just up the hill, in the Ridge Nest and the Heartwood subdivision, which I also, if I can get on, would show you. That was an interlocal. I think it was done in the mid, like 2012, 2015, that timeframe.
Brooke, let me pause you for a
Okay.
minute. We want you to show your screen so at least Commissioner Bolos can see what we're talking. That's just a couple of.
I can't connect to
Let me
that.
go share both your emails with her, make sure she'll do it.
If you wanna just pass it out.
I know, I'm just gonna turn it like that so you can see it. Yeah, that's good. Just kind of like that's what I'm thinking.
And I think the fire department's seen some of these, yeah.
Yeah,
Schnaz.
there's a parking lot. This is very like 2002 where we hold screens up, but the Powder Mountain Road 158 coming up here, that cement structure right in this location, and the county line kind of cuts across right here. So, oh, actually, no, it goes right between those 2 buildings. So there's a portion of the existing parking lot, like I said, that actually is in
Turn that back around, Brooke, and then just point with your finger where you're thinking the fire station would go.
this area right
That's
here, that's
what I
trimmed in white,
That's what
yeah.
I was imagining.
And so I have another exhibit, I'll open it right here. That is the actual parking lot improvements, and it shows the new maintenance structure, which is now back here. And it shows how all of the circulation works and how really you want to do that through one.
Hold on, Brooke, just keep that up there for a second. And Commissioner Bolos, to the lower left-hand corner of that screen is also Weber County.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or left-hand.
I just sent it to
this
everybody.
is all Weber County, actually, all of the stuff on this side, but the county line does something weird right here. So it's in here, that's why the fire station would be in Cache, but it doesn't go straight. You're following the drainage is why, they were trying to do the watershed drainage. But so we're thinking the simple 2-page interlocal. I think Tammy, did I send that back to you, the one from?
You did.
I did, okay. Sometimes I can't remember this, but I think I do it, or if I did it. So I resent the one that is existing for the 2 subdivisions, where just a handful of lots happen to be in Cache County, but the services were coming from Weber. And so Cache County acquiesced and agreed the planning and building permit and all of those services were acceptable to be provided through Weber County. So in both a Ridge Nest, which is I think 5 or 6 units, and I think it's only the last 3 in the that are built, at least in the adjacent Heartwood neighborhood, existing Powder Mountain, you have an interlocal in place, and they agreed to basically completely just say, you guys were in charge, all the responsibility and associated fees, et cetera, there was no splitting of anything. It just went through Weber County.
So would that also be the revenue collected from
Yes,
taxes in Weber County?
No, because we didn't change the taxing entity of the county line. You guys only did, yes, Weber County only collected the fees and the work associated with the processing of the applications.
That's, to me, that's an essential piece of that interlocal agreement.
I
It's tax
agree.
sharing.
Mhm.
Because I don't want to set a standard or a precedent where we continue to provide all the services. And they collect all the honey thereafter. And that's been communicated directly from my mouth to the council's ears. Now, I don't know if that's been put, how that's gone on the other side, but they do need to share in that. They need to share in the tax revenue from those, to provide those, not just the fees to do the work. Otherwise, have them drive all the way around and come up and do the permitting and everything else too.
Yeah.
That's where I am on that.
Is that just housing in that section, or is there gonna be retail?
So the existing are just residential homes. In the proposed area, currently it is a fire station, a maintenance building, and a parking lot, frankly, nothing,
Nothing that would generate sales tax.
nothing legitimate.
The maintenance shed may a little bit, there may be some little
So I would-
property tax and
I would
personal property
include that
tax.
Just for current and
And future,
future,
yeah.
that you do property, real and personal and sales
At-
in that agreement.
Thank you. My other thing is I wish the folks from planning, or not planning, but survey were here. Cause I also think that it wouldn't bother me to do a minor lot adjustment on this as well. That would be county line lot adjustment on that. When the parking lot, when you add the collection basins for water, all that storm water would flow to the Cache Valley side, correct?
Not
I wouldn't say
necessarily.
all of it.
It may, I'm looking at my design here and I don't have like stormwater collection in this because it's not an engineering drawing. But it could go 50-50 because we do have stormwater collection going in both directions. So, yeah. I mean, we could draft the interlocal to include that. There's no reason why it can't include the provision for the collection of taxes for them to reimburse you. And we can start like with baby steps with them to try to start moving the needle. I mean, we're hoping through the interlocal that the fire district enters into, which is completely different because they're not the county, they're the fire district. But we're hoping to move that district boundary for them so that, which is again, different than the county line, but allows them to, for a lot of reasons, because I don't want to have Cache County dictating the fire standards where Weber County is fighting the fires.
Great point.
So.
Yeah, that would also require a type of an interlocal between Cache and the fire district, and probably would, at least at very minimum, have some consultation with Weaver County relative to real and personal property taxes. And as well, because that's how the fire district is predominantly supported, is through property tax. So,
Just I can add on to that. We're in the final stages of interlocal.
okay,
That includes property taxes and all the fees and impact fees and everything to
I
provide
just want to make
service
sure
there.
that conversation was.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Jeff. Can you provide a little more clarity if you could, please? You're in the process of a interlocal with who?
Cache County Fire.
Cache County Fire.
Yep.
Does that also though, are they a separate district as are you here?
I think they're trying to split right now, but I think they're still under the county, so it's going through the county.
So that matters a lot. That matters, that all ties in together then. The county needs to, and it's no secret, Brooke, you were so kind to host us up there when we were up there this summer. And but they're well aware that this needs to happen.
Right.
I don't think there's any there's no, it just needs to move forward. I think the percentage of what's shared here, but it's, we, here, I just, let me be clear. We take care of a lot of people. And a lot of times we do it, we take in other counties, everything, and then we take care of them. And sometimes we don't get the share of the revenue that we should. So that leaves the burden on the rest of the people, the property tax on the rest of the county. So I just want to make sure that it's proportionate, that it's fair. Commissioner Bolos, any
That's-
comments
no,
there?
That's the only thing that I would reiterate. I think everything else can be worked out, but that's a priority. I mean, already happening, right, with the homes that exist in Cache County.
Correct, yeah, well, the part about the interlocal and the portion relationship, but the taxing relationship still needs to get.
Yeah,
smoothed out.
so we're already providing services
Yes, you do, that's correct.
for Cache County
Yeah.
residents already. So I think moving forward, we want to make that adjustment.
So we, agree and we support that. And I don't think it's a problem unless Cache County starts to push back because we can't have double taxation, right? And that has
No.
been a piece of the conversation. That that's a little bit awkward. I mean, not for me, I'll just say it. But the Cache is saying, hey, that's great, but we've seen all this potential revenue that can come our way. And we kind of like that we don't provide any of the services, but get the income off of that. And we'd like to continue that benefit. That's fantastic. But we can't continue to pay that bill 100%, not receive the services. You say we need to be reimbursed for said services, completely fair, because you're providing them, so that you get your share of those taxes, and then we're asked to pay more somewhere. Like, it should be, if then the tax base over there is just reimbursing back to Cache, or from Cache to Weber, then you're made whole plus some. Instead of then there's this other piece that we're paying for no, any sort of, benefit or service, right? If we're paying for nothing and receiving if we're paying for something that we're not receiving from them, then there's a pressure point there.
Can I make a suggestion?
Hold on just a second. So I think and Steph, I think what I'd like to have you, since you're in the room here, do is get with Chris Crockett, who wasn't able to join us today. And we need to get that, sounds to me like government with government needs to get our stuff together between the two of us and formalize that. So, all right, now Steph, go ahead.
It's exactly what I was gonna suggest. This would be very similar to what we do with the Utah Inland Port Authority, where we do a tax sharing agreement and, or a tax participation agreement. And that would put into a long-term commitment of that tax sharing revenue, not having to adjust the boundaries, but actually going into a type of a boundary agreement.
Recording in progress.
Agreement, very similar to what we do with the Utah Inland Port Authority.
Good.
And I'm happy to work with Chris Crockett on that.
Will you do that, please? Yeah, that would be good.
If you want to pursue changing the boundary, which is.
It's really the cleanest way.
It is, but it's
complicated.
it's a legislative ask too, and we're already in the session. Your microphone is on, that's why it's doing this.
I have my microphone on.
I will gladly work on that. There we go.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of a big thing. David, do you have anything, or Britt, the two of you want to add to that?
We are working on interlocal. We're kind of going at it. We looked at the boundary adjustments even for the district, and where that's unincorporated, that would be extremely difficult. If they were incorporated, it would be a lot easier, but so we kind of went after it as a fee based on our tax rates. Each year we'll assess a fee to them, and then they'll pay us directly. And we also included in impact fees and inspection fees and plan review fees and everything. So we'll basically, and we are right now, we'll take all the service, all the EMS, fire, wildland, everything up there and provide it for them for that.
I think that's important, but I also, with the building that you showed, Dave, I would like to see, some kind of a Craig, in that building thing, a public safety aspect to that as well. Because as your area continues to grow up there, to have to build a second building for sheriff or whoever happens to host that up there, let's just add a few more square feet, share toilets, share whatever, so that you can have a place for the guys to write the reports or radio transmissions or to coordinate. Same thing would be it would be important to have emergency services up there with regards to Lisa Gauze line or the anything that happened to go crazy, you know, earthquake, emergency management services as well. Welcome Commissioner Frower in the room. We're on item number 3.
Great. Thank you very much.
Anyway, so that would be so let's, Stephanie, have you get with, Chris on this. We need to get moving on this though soon. Because I don't want to, the last thing I want to do is slow cook Powder Mountain from moving since they have such a short construction window up there. A short phase, and so I want them to be able to continue moving forward. But what concerns me is that I've been talking to Cache Valley about this for more than a year. Done a lot of work personally with that, and nothing, they haven't generated. We'll have to look at that. We'll have to keep looking at that. So maybe we need to generate that and send it to them and say, this is what we proposed. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it out loud in front of everybody here. But if they come back and say, no, that's not gonna work, then just say, great. Send your building inspectors up here, send everybody up here, you know, you need to provide it in a timely manner. Cause we're not gonna provide your services anymore. We need to push them a little bit. Maybe you can work with your old buddy up there, the new city manager or the county manager up there and say, you know, let's put this together and put an interlocal together. So you guys are not having to go between two places. You can just come here and get it all done, and then they're still gonna collect some honey off the whole thing. You know, that's, I think, the ideal situation.
Well, I think we need to have a discussion with them on some other matters that relate to Powder Mountain as well, so I'm hoping to get that set up before the legislative session ends.
George Daines is the guy.
Yeah, and a guy by the name of Kurt Webb.
Yeah, you know Kurt.
Yeah, pretty
I
well.
think you've met him.
Yeah. Sat next to him for about 12 years.
And you got a picture in his office or his office. Any other comments pertaining to this, Matt? Yeah, David?
I just have one that really not to this, but I just want to say it here in recorded meeting and let the commissioners hear me say it. The only thing about the location of this fire station is that if they continue to move out, they will go past their 5 mile potentially, and that puts their ISO for those people back to a 10. Because the station's clear over on this side. Not a big deal. Right now, I think
ISO, incident.
I'm sorry, the insurance score. So you have a resident that is a half a mile this way, their insurance is gonna be this, because now with a station, they're gonna be a 3. That's great.
Yeah.
Their insurance is gonna be incredible. Now they get past the 5 miles, it's gonna go to a 10, so they're gonna pay double, triple what this guy's gonna pay. Just
Lends
as an
itself
FYI.
back to that Weber State property.
Good to know.
Possibility. In my mind. Sorry, I maybe shouldn't have said that out loud, but that's.
Well, we can also look at the 5 mile, this is the first time I'm hearing the 5 mile is a limiting factor. We can measure, but I'm not sure if it does actually go beyond that much, and maybe that we.
And if it
draw the
doesn't,
line.
no worries, right?
Or maybe there's exception to get to 5.5, but, the thing about what we know now is that the district has made it clear, and I think so has the county, that, moving forward with the commitment of a fire station is, imperative for us to be able to receive ongoing permits. And so continuing to say, well, we don't know quite where the station's going to be, so I can't design it, I can't pay for it, can't build it, because we don't have a place for it, isn't acceptable. And so everything from moving to the east, which is everything, you know, on the other side of the station, is still so much work to design and engineer and figure out pressures and water and servicing from all of the other things, utilities, that, you know, we looked at places closer to kind of where our clubhouse is going. They didn't seem to make sense, because then if we don't continue with significant development out at that side, then we've neglected this side, which is already somewhat built out. So it's either put the work in the ground now and have something that we can all say, we built a fire station per the requirements, and now we're, you know, and I'll be glad to go measure, but now the furthest extent at the top of the mountain is 5.5. But we've at least been able to live up to that commitment in a very much meaningful way, or we can continue to kick the can. And I just am sick of that, frankly. I want to put the money down. I want to build the station, and I want to have these guys, up there as much as possible to make this an amazing, experience for both Powder Mountain and the fire district.
Bridget, thanks, just,
If I can say something. So as the fire chief, I mean, I think where we're at right now with your station where it's at, I think we're very good for a long period of time. What we're talking about getting out 5+ miles, you could be 20, 30, 40 years down the road before we hit that. And I wouldn't hold up where we're at right now, just for that far down the road. I think we should just keep moving forward where we're at.
Brooke, is there a possibility in this case that you can put a few extra square feet into that fire station? Or maybe it's okay where it is, but design a little something so we have first response, we have something for the sheriff, we have something for emergency management up there. Just a couple of
We
rooms.
did design an office. There is a separate office space here. It's
Just for the sheriffs.
meant
Yeah.
for the sheriff, yeah.
Well, it could, I mean, it didn't have a name, so it could have
It does
been.
now.
Just a kiosk or something for them up there. That would be
Yeah,
important.
they have some
It's
rooms.
nicer than a kiosk, that's for certain.
And they'll have
We-
sort of power radios, they'll have power of communication, all that stuff would be. That's just, I don't want to see having one more oh, why didn't they tell us this when we're doing that? That's all.
I would certainly say that to you if you came back in a little bit and
Yeah.
ask for that. I did have, I don't know if you noticed, I had up on the screen, but Zoom keeps crashing, but I think I can get it up again. Hold on, nobody talk, because when I join, it's gonna. Oh, this time it joined without. Maybe we're not gonna crash this time. Here we go. Let's just show this, Okay. County line
I
right
see that,
there.
yeah.
And then it comes up, and then right where the fire station is scheduled to go, you can see the county line turns right there. So super annoying, but all of this section and all of the subdivision, everything here has been conveniently built on the Weaver side of the line, just our maintenance facility, which is not here. And then this is that Kobe ski building, if you'd like to call it that, that exists right now, is in cash. So, and I do, if it says it's crashing, but I'm gonna try to, show a different screen real quick.
Dave, while she's pulling that up, is that 5 mile, is it a radius or driving?
It's driving.
Driving.
It's not as the crow flies either.
No, so we're already at about 4 miles at some of the build out they're doing. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
And I brought it up like years ago and I've continued to say FYI, it was, but Chief's right, it's a great location. I wasn't trying to say it wasn't, but I just wanted to just throw that out there because I just hate seeing it. If it keeps going out that way, they get past that 5 mile mark and they're
It's
very
really
strict.
impacting the problem
Correct.
financially, that's.
Yeah, just on their insurance,
Yeah.
yeah. And they are strict on the 5 miles.
Therefore, we probably need to meet with Cash.
Okay,
Okay, I like it.
we will move forward with that, Brooke, on that, with that other and
Interlocal.
interlocal.
Okay. Thank you.
I think the time for us waiting for them to put that together is over.
We concur. So,
And so, this squarely does, even today's conversation squarely falls in their lap. They've obviously not performed and that's why you're here. So we'll do what we can to help you.
I appreciate that. I do think, if I was on, sitting in front of them, I could see how in their case, they're giving up money. So perhaps it wouldn't be the call they'd want to make. And so I think it is that you're providing the services, therefore also deserving the taxes and fees associated with that. And that's probably why they haven't come knocking and said, here, let's share in the pool of funds.
Yeah,
That makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
So,
Yep.
thank you.
well, maybe a 10-90 split. We'll start there.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay.
David, Britt,
Good. Thank you.
good. Thank you. Good to see you. I wish you well.
I could see it. We'll need it.
Thanks. See you, friend. Good luck to you.
I'll schedule some time to meet with you about that working agreement, touch base again.
Great, thanks.
I know you guys are busy, so.
We don't got anything to do. There's nothing for us to do.
So is this?
Okay, I'm turning it over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you
Brewer.
for
We're on number.
Number 4. So is this, the issue we have is it's in cash?
Yeah,
They don't want to pay for it, or
they want us to do all the permitting, they want us to do all the inspection. They want us to do everything and they're okay for us to just collect all the fees and everything, but of course, the fire building would be not a non-taxable building.
right.
There's also 5 or 6 more edifices or buildings or houses going in, and they would just collect the taxes off those. And I said, we're done with just letting them keep building up there without, I want to stop that.
I agree with that 100%. So let's set up a meeting. Maybe all 3 of us should venture up to Logan. Unless we get them to come down here.
Or what? I prefer them come here, but we can go up to Logan.
Well, if they won't come here, we'll set them up for a work session. You okay with that?
Yep.
With Logan? Cash, I should say. All right, welcome everyone. We're now on agenda item 4 for our weekly work session. Discussion regarding county jail construction office. Scott Mendoza, I don't see him here. Sean Wilkinson, Bill Ross, Chad Meyerhopper, Sheriff Arbon's here, and Chief Labley. Welcome. Who's Scott's listed first, so Sean, I'm gonna turn it over to you since you're next.
Happy to. So commissioners, several weeks ago, we met in this same group and had a discussion about the current project for the expansion of the sheriff's office, the medical and mental health wing. And at that meeting, commissioners, you asked for GSBS to go back and take a look at previous plans that had been discussed. And that included a remodel of the sheriff's administration area. And looking at all of that, Scott has been working closely with Kevin. Kevin last week sent us an email, and he outlined several things that helped us understand better why we started going down the road of the expansion versus the remodel. And it does come down to cost. It comes down to efficiency. Overall, Kevin said there's really no point in going back and looking at this, because I can tell you right now with these numbers that it's going to be much cheaper and a much better product to continue down the road that we're going right now. So that's why Kevin is here today, to help present that information. But just so you're aware, we've all looked at this, and we are in agreement based on what Kevin has presented to us, that this is the path that we should be going down versus going back to that remodel scenario. So that's the introduction. But Kevin and Sheriff, I'll let you guys jump in.
So hold on a second, Tom.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're talking the
Yep.
same language here. So by looking at your sheets here, you're looking at 40,605,000 for the remodel, and you're looking at 27,700,000, which is kind of the number we've been looking at
Correct.
for
For the new
construction.
That's
Is
right.
that, am I looking at those?
That's accurate.
You verified these numbers?
These numbers come directly from Kevin. So
Okay.
we are, as the architect doing the project, we're trusting those numbers.
Okay,
He has much better access to what that cost is than we do.
all right, so can you explain these numbers and tell us how you arrived at these?
I can, so just to build on what Sean said, the notion, which was not invalid from our last meeting, was that wouldn't we be money ahead if we could save some money on part of the construction in a remodel scenario and expend that on some other aspect of the project, either new construction or additional remodel or whatever. And the ask was, well, let's go back and let's look at the notion of relocating the existing sheriff's office out of the building and using that space as was proposed in the bond presentation from 3 years ago, give or take. What I did not give you, and as a result, how we kind of got carried away with the idea and then realized, well, hold on a second, was the scale of the stuff, right? If we're gonna pay for new construction by remodeling some of the construction, where the square footage of the remodeled area is driving the savings. And so
if you look at these two sheets side by side, looking at the new construction only, there are three elements of this project that we have been considering to this point. There is a medical and mental health clinic where they do the kind of what you do when you go to the doctor kind of stuff. There is a medical infirmary and there is mental health housing. The medical infirmary and the medical clinic amount to about 14,500 square feet. And those are the elements that are reasonably accommodated within the existing structure. The mental health housing doesn't work because it's two-story, it's water intensive, there are a variety of reasons. It would not be practical to try to remodel the existing sheriff's office to house that piece of the pie, and it was never a consideration, by the way. When we were thinking about this for the bond, the diagram that you see in the remodel illustration shows that mental health housing encroaching into the existing parking lots because it was always considered to be outside the envelope of the existing construction. It amounts to about 22,000 square feet of space on its very own. So with that said, the sheriff currently occupies roughly 23,000 square feet of space within the existing building. And we would move the sheriff entirely out. We programmed the sheriff's office for 25 years of growth a couple of years ago and landed on about 30,000 square feet. So diagrammatically, I'm saying at a minimum, we need a 30,000 square foot new building. To pay for that new building, we have 14,500 square feet of remodeled area savings to utilize. And that even if the mental health or the medical clinic and the medical infirmary were twice the expense of building a new office building, we still don't have enough money to buy the new sheriff's office. That's the simplest explanation of this.
The new sheriff's administration.
Admin.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. There's not enough remodeled space to benefit enough to pay for what we need for sheriff's admins. And the truth is, when we considered that building, we know that the sheriff needs at least 24,000 of that all on one level. There's another 6,000 square feet, give or take, and we didn't really go into the release programs and all that and whether we would try to accommodate it. But if we're going to have some kind of space for allied agencies to lease and all of that, we're talking about a 24,000 square foot floor plate with two levels. The sheriff will occupy the upper one and part of the lower one and create the space that's available for other things. So that just magnifies the problem because you've gone from needing 30,000 square feet to needing 48,000 square feet. Admittedly, potentially there's a way to maybe generate some revenue from that over the long haul, but initially the outlay of cash the county would have to make is just dramatically more because you got to build this two-story office building. It's kind of that simple. So if I were to backtrack to, and the sequence of events is, I have to go look at the timeline, but when we got the call and said $30 million, what can we do? We really looked at all of the options that we had presented to that point and said, the best and cleanest use of that money is to build the right stuff the right way. That will make it as value directed as we can possibly do it, which is how we arrived at the new construction notion going out the back and really thinking about, as I said last time I was here, how can we add 2 new housing pods, increase the capacity of this facility by almost half again, plus deal with this medical and mental health problem, plus probably in the long run relocate booking, which allows us to deal with the transportation problem that we currently are not addressing. And this is the best use of those $30 million. So yeah, that's the explanation. There's just not enough savings to make this work.
Sheriff, where do you see the next pod,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Sheriff? Thank you. Where do you see if the existing if this was going here, where do you see the next pod going?
Well, there's two options. If you're looking at this one, right?
Yep.
You could see it coming off towards that intersection. Like down here. Or it could be on the opposite side.
There is a corridor, you really can't see it, but there's a corridor running right through. Right here in this plan.
Okay.
Right through the middle,
Uh-huh.
and it connects out to two additional housing pods, one on each side.
Okay,
Yeah, it was the purpose is.
We made sure we can fit that in.
okay.
Future use,
Yes.
sir.
Answers my question, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions, since this is kind of your bailiwick we're in right now?
I just was trying to protect the sheriff's office in the future.
Well, you've
And
done
so there's no reason to not ask the question. It worked good before. Now you've answered the question why it didn't.
like it. Commissioner Bowles,
No,
questions,
no
comments?
questions. No, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming back with that.
So, yeah, I'm comfortable with your explanation. One thing I would like to recommend though is last week I ran into an old friend at the state legislature that for 12 years did nothing but work with corrections, Representative Eric Hutchings. I don't know if you know the name or not.
Sure.
I told him what we were attempting to do up here, and he volunteered to come up. I would like him to make sure that he gets his eyeballs on this. I worked with him on the prison actually. So I funded the prison, he put it together. So he's a great resource. And I'd hope that you would recognize that he would do this on his own time, but with his expertise and what he's doing around the state, we would be remiss not to take advantage of his time. So I'm gonna have Stephanie give you his contact or set that up, but he's willing to come up. He's got great resources at AP&P and some other that Stephanie was there when we had that conversation, so.
Yeah, I actually talked to Laura Andelin from Sheriff's Department about what they had done over at the children's
Yeah,
area, and she said really good things, positive things about him.
and he's also a good resource because he knows where some little pots of money may be sitting around the state that we may be able to take advantage of.
Have him swoop in those corners and find out where those little pots of money
Yeah,
are.
yeah. They're in the corner somewhere.
They're in every place. They're in a lot of places.
Our lobbyists for one more session, so take advantage of it.
Well, that's not.
It's not?
Not? Come on. All right, Commissioner Harvey, anything else? Commissioner Bowles, anything?
No.
All right, I think we have our explanation. Please get a hold of Eric Hutchins, former representative. Let me know how that goes. I'm gonna call him and get his input.
Clarification, Commissioner, on our connection with him. What's the objective with him is to look at it and find where he can get money for us from the state?
No, not necessarily. I want him to take a look at the plan.
Okay.
Because he's been through basically every jail in this state, plus a lot of other states. I want him to take a look at this and say, hey, if we change this, we might be able to save money, or, I want his suggestions. I want a green light from him saying, yeah, it looks good, or you may want to consider this. It could be cost savings. It could be something for the future. I don't know. That's not my expertise, but it is his. So take advantage of it. Yeah.
Would you like us to have that meeting before we decide how we're moving forward?
Yeah, I'd like a report from him.
Okay.
He actually told me he would be happy to meet. He was pretty open. And then get with his suggestions, and there may not be any. He may think, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread, which is great. But we've got a resource. I always believe in using experts in the field.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so anyway. So once that meeting takes place, then get back to it, John. And
Will you text me his contact when you think about it?
I will, yeah.
I didn't get that from him the other day.
Yep. He's a great man, by the way, so, yeah. But if you can learn anything, or be a good opportunity to always take advantage of people that have expertise.
And it's free. And it's free.
Yeah.
He's not gonna charge us.
Okay, anything else? John?
Nope.
I didn't know that Steve Ogden was in different parts of this state.
Well, just a couple, yeah, not all, not every part, but yeah.
Free labor's good.
Free labor, yeah.
Yeah, I'll set up for you.
Well, Stephanie, you know, she gets down there, she just keeps going.
Let's say that Eric Hutchings is sitting outside this door right now and he goes through things and at 4 o'clock he gives you the green stamp. When you gonna start digging?
We're gonna come back to you first and say, do we have to go?
Yeah, okay, and then you come back, when that. Thank you. When you gonna start digging?
Well, we need a contractor first. And we had talked about doing this with a CM delivery model, which I think we'd all agreed on, so, we need that entity here, we need them to validate the price of it. This is a difficult and volatile construction market still. This area of construction is problematic because detention equipment, the doors, the frames, the locks that go into, in particular, the housing, but are used throughout this facility, there's one manufacturer in this country.
Yeah.
That does that work. So a CM gets us in line and starts to tell us when we can expect the frames, which drives about everything else that we do. And then we'll work with the CM, and if it makes sense for us to put out an early earthwork package and we have some assurance that we're on budget, might be this summer. If we want to make sure that we have it all figured out and bought out before we turn a spade of dirt, then it might be next spring. But somewhere in that time frame.
Okay, and then, all right, so it's somewhere between June, July, August to next week, next year, April. How long is the project gonna take?
Takes about, I would say for this kind of work, the CM's gonna tell us 2 years and we can force them to build it in about 18 months.
So we're talking about really the end of 2019.
That was a long time ago.
2019.
The beginning of 2019, excuse me, 2029.
We're 2 to 2.5 years from today.
That'd be
Moving
Moving
20.
bodies in.
So let's see, 26 plus
That just
2.
tells me where, that just
Yeah.
helps me to organize things. Okay.
We'll have a much
That's a
better
lot.
sense of it when we have a CM.
That's legislative session 2020. That's a lot. 2030.
You're still,
I'm with you, Commissioner. Let's go back.
you need a vacation?
Yeah,
Although I don't want to relive 2020 very badly.
Everybody does.
I'm okay.
I like 2019.
2018 was better. 17 was even better. 16 if you really want to get good.
I'll take 18.
Okay.
All right, thanks very much. Anything else? Commissioner Bolus? Okay,
2030, 2020, 22, 21.
thanks for the update.
I think you want it.
Okay, Commissioners,
Chair, I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor? Aye, motion carries. Thanks very much.